Well done, Joe. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is John, otherwise known as Kermit, and I am the very best of man. Pause for applause. Now, before I get started, I have a couple of requests for everyone in this room. First requests. We all take a little moment and appreciate how fucking amazing Libby looks today. Thank you very much. How good does she look? How good does she look? Fucking unreal. Too right. Sorry, too much. Get the wins in when I can. So throughout this speech, I'm also going to ask for a little bit of audience participation. This is a bit of an odd one, it's niche, but Joe, those of you who know Joe well, has a certain affiliation for a certain Bud Light advert. The Bud Light advert is, there is a king upon a throne. He gets handed a cold glass of Bud Light from his squire. The squire goes, dilly dilly. The king goes, dilly dilly. Joe loves it. Don't ask why. Joe loves it. So, throughout this speech, there's going to be certain moments where things are going to get maybe a bit awkward, a bit sexy, who knows. And I'm going to say, dilly dilly. And I want you all to raise your glass in unison and say, dilly dilly. Hold the horses. We're going to do a little practice run of the whole crowd, okay? Right, okay. So pretend I'm just doing my speech, doing my thing. Okay, go. Dilly dilly. Thank you. Easy. Right, okay. Now, I'm not actually one for public speaking, but I am a very confident individual. And I was relishing the opportunity of talking between Joe and Libby and the rest of her friends and family. Those of you who know Joe well, which I hope is at least half the room, will know he has an incredible talent for making even the simplest of tasks and occasions one of extreme anxiety. He does this so effortlessly by simply asking a million unnecessary but very specific questions. This is so much his character trait that often when we get a phone call with our group of lads and we see Joe is ringing, I will go, Joe's ringing, put him on speakerphone, and we will hold our hands up and count how many questions Joe will ask us. This may be a very simple occasion of organising what time we're going to meet at the pub, but this boy is clocking at least 20 questions in that. That's just what he does. So you can imagine the sheer amount of ammunition that this boy is unloading on me today on such an occasion. But that's what best friends are for. To listen, to soothe, to make you feel safe and protected. To calm you in moments of need. That said, and I never planned for this to be the start of my speech, but this morning I woke up and thought, what would be a fun idea? I will write down every question Joe has asked me this morning and share with all of you. Just so you get a general insight into how Joe works and the insight into his massive head. So, if you just let me get the questions out. Luckily, I carry this around with me. Hey, how are you? Did you sleep well? How many hours did you get? If you stay awake all night, do you still get morning breath? Doesn't make any sense. Do you think the photographer will have a tripod? What do you reckon his name will be? Is my bow tie big enough? Is your bow tie big enough? What size shoe are you? Do you put your left on first or your right? Have you got the rings? Fair enough. How long's your speech? Do you think my poem will go down well? Went down well. I think it went down well. How long until the ceremony? Will Libby wear white? Odd. What time is the taxi booked? It's noon 12. Will it have armrests? Petrol or diesel? How many sips of water have you had today? Is that enough? How much is enough? Have you got your ID? Have you got the rings? Do you think the venue will have enough fire extinguishers? Oh, so what? Powder or foam? Alright. Did you hear my tummy rumble? Are you nervous? What if I get a boner? Will everything be ready? Do you think they've cut the grass? Hedges? Have you still got the rings? Fair, I think it's fair enough. Should I have a tactical one? Will I have 5G? Can you do it from memory? I don't know. Will the bellinis be warm? Salmon or trout? And do you think I'm making a mistake? In choosing beef for the main. You guys get the picture. I mean, I've got a whole book full, so we'll leave it there. But, this has genuinely been a day that I've looked forward to since the dawn of Joe and Libby's relationship. Way back when they found love in Zoot Hill. Can I, hand on heart, say when they first got together that we would be stood here today? No, I can't. I can't say that. But there has always been a strong connection ever since those early days of catching him and playing footsie under the table in English. Dilly dilly. Thank you. But now I cast my mind to it. Those times you were playing footsie under the table, Libby was a taken woman. Correct? But if there's any consolation, they've invited him today. Two more, say hello. It's so kind of the bride and groom to do that so many years later. He's invited here. It's so kind of you. Well done. It was all year 8. It's all forgive and forget. Thank you, two more. When Joe asked me to be his mess man, I was ecstatic. I was so over the moon. I wanted to tell everyone. I wanted to tell people I didn't know. I wanted to tell the whole world. So that's exactly what I did. I got a list of countries from A to Z. Did not fancy Azerbaijan. Australia, that's what I did. So this whole time I've been on a pilgrimage of their love. That's what I've been doing. I've been spreading the whole news of Joe and Libby this whole time. Now, I do feel guilty because I've not been there for this last year, and I hope I can I hope I can help you guys out in the years to come. But I more feel guilty for the groomsmen to lose out on the best man gig to a guy who literally found out and then left the country. So I am sorry, groomsmen. But what I thought I would do as a generous man, I would give each groomsman the opportunity to talk in Joe's best man speech today. So what I did was I asked each of them to sign me a little letter to put into my best man speech. And for the fun of it, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to open them. I thought I would just open them now in front of everyone before I've seen them, and then we can all just read them out together and share the experience together. Oscar, you're up first. This is so nice. It's exciting for everyone, isn't it? Not in the speech, but it's here. So Oscar, let's see what Oscar wrote about Joe. Catch me up in this last year. Hopefully something sentimental, and how much he loves Joe. Hey Kermit. Hi Oscar. God, I've missed you so much. You have no idea. It's mutual. It will be so good to have you back. We're here. Sarah is doing my nutting. I don't think you didn't know this was going to happen. Fair enough. Sorry, mate. Ton is much the same. To be fair on him, this last year he has ventured into many new sports, but I regret to inform you he remains inadequate at all of them. We're talking paddle, park runs, squash, golf. Now has recently come up with the idea to dip his toes into the skiing world. This really worries me, John. The boy is very top-heavy, if you get my gist. Balance and an extra-large helmet hire could cause tears. All my love, Oscar. Thank you, Oscar. That was very good of you, Oscar. That was nice. That was a nice letter. That's nice. Next up, William. Will do. You've seen him on the microphone. This should be good. This should be hopefully very sentimental. And we're interested. Let's see what he's got. Oh, hang on. Who's got some nails? Oh, okay. Shorter than expected. Make sure you mention the story about him leaving the lads' holiday because he had the... okay, no, so that's true. Joe did leave a lads' holiday earlier because he... Well, I won't put it how Will put it, but he had the runs. Because naturally, the thing to do when you leave a lad's holiday is want to get on 7 hours of public transport if you have the runs. It's got naturally nothing to do with missing the girlfriend at the time, is it, Joe? And then, oh, hang on, Will's put something at the bottom here. Oh, and don't forget, when he was supposedly on the toilet on that holiday, we actually caught him watching Japanese... Will! Sentimental, Will. Sentimental. Will. Okay, well, hopefully, father of the groom, Simon, he would have had some nice words to say, surely. I was not expecting this at all. Simon. Okay. Nothing to catch you up on, buddy. I fucked off to a different country when I found out too. That's it, alright. Well, cheers, Simon. Thanks for those lovely words. And then finally, the last man of the hour, I guess, is Mr. Harry Cotty. Hopefully he spoke to everyone today so far, because there are a few beers in, he doesn't make any sense anyway, so... I'm expecting some words in sober whilst he could, so here we go, Harry. But it's got a bit of pouch to it, Harry, this one. This is... Harry, there's no card in there, Harry. It's literally just baked beans. What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? I've no words, Harry. I asked you for sentimental words about your brother, and you're going to be that. I don't feel so special getting the best man gig anymore. You're just seeing that. Oh, God, all my cards are everywhere. Where did I get up to? It's Johnny birthday. Sorry. Okay. Oh, we're back. Now, where to begin? Mine and Joe's journey. My first memories of Joe will probably differ. He will likely tell you a story of when I was first on his radar at a primary school athletics meet, when I fell over, not for the first time in athletics, and I might. But where mine and Joe's story really starts was outside RE at Toot Hill School. In the distance, I see 3 figures approach me, which I can only describe as wild Pokemon appearing, because of their unusual experience. My eyes first met the shortest at the time, Mr. Harry Cotty, with the most perfectly defined mohawk. And then something I've never seen or ever seen since, Mr. Joseph Longard, with the trifecta. You understand? And then from then, it was the biggest prepubescent beanpole I've ever seen with a single rhino horn, which was Joe Bedra. Little did I know on that day, my sheer embarrassment of being with these three obviously challenged boys would grow into one of such love and brothers to the years to come. So you may be asking me, how did two of you begin your first journey? What else but sex, drugs and rock and roll, wasn't it, Joe? Dilly dilly. Thank you, glasses. Yeah. Well, actually, we both did DARE at primary school, so we both knew drugs were obviously bad. We were also into Metallica and Blink-182, like kind of rules out rock and roll. And this next story will highlight the actual probably virgins we were. I knew me and Joe were growing close when he began to ask me to sacrifice my lunch break to go back to his house to look after his new puppy on Helen's orders. And you do not mess with Helen's orders. You do not mess with Helen's orders. This began to become a regular routine of ours. It evolved into staying longer. The odd occasion Joe would offer me a cheese and salad cream sandwich. I would politely decline that disgusting combination. Whilst Joe would finish his sandwich, we began with a genius idea of booting up Helen's laptop. After all, we were helping her, so no harm done. What were two young men to do on the internet with their fingertips? We discovered hothotdog.com. Dilly dilly. This is a website whereby there are beer bottles falling from the sky. You would operate your mouse to catch the beer bottles. Each life and each zone you would take, the attractive lady on the screen would slowly take her clothes off. And I am sorry to say, and I am really sorry to say, this became an addiction for us. We were checking in on that dog 3-4 times a day. Discussing new tactics on the way back to school, it was endless. However, the dream came crashing down when one fateful day we forgot to clear the browsing history. Helen may have closed the laptop lid on this one, but things were just beginning for Joe and I. Weirdly, I found myself in the middle of many Joe's romantic milestones. I don't mean literally in the middle, because that would be quite a few different stories. But I was actually on a certain barge trip when I heard him say for the first time to Libby on the phone that I love you. Dilly dilly. Thank you. I would have been more enthusiastic for Joe at the time had the maid of honour, Ellen, not dumped me on MSN 2 weeks previous. How could you? That could have been us. Could have been us. No, I'm not bitter, but that could have been us. Yeah, awkward. No, I'm not bitter. I've not thought about it since. It's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, that was such a magical moment considering where we are all gathered here today. But all men have a past. Joe, for the sake of this speech, is very fortunate. It was effectively his past is year 7 and 8. But in year 8, there was a very special occasion on the horizon. Jade Hammond's 14th birthday party. Oh, yeah. For those of you who are not in our school year, this was quite literally the hottest ticket in town. Dress code, black and white. Limousine, arrival. Red Bull, fruit shoots on tap. You got it. Oof. The stage was set. Now, I don't know what you're thinking. How does a funny story come out of this? But do not underestimate the power of a horny teenage Joe Bedra. I remember it very well. Not because I'm always constantly thinking back to Joe's ever first snog, but because the disturbing image was burned on the back of my retina since. He told me he had planned his attack for... Sorry. Who will remain nameless when she left the bathroom. Creepy, yes, but in the moment I had to be the best friend. And wish him good luck as it was time for me to get into position. And it began. What initially caught me off guard was the use of Joe's tongue, which was constantly outside of his mouth. And then what put me off more was the fact that his eyes were open and fixed on me. It looked like two dogs fighting over the remnants of a hot supper bowl. Now, how much time could pass, God only knows. Could have been seconds, could have been hours, weeks, who knows. Eventually, the two parted. Joe wiped his face with the back of his hand, marched over to me immediately with a no goodbye thought for the lady in his presence, and asked me, how did it go? That was the hardest lie I've ever had to tell you. All I could respond, I couldn't get the words out of my mouth. All I could say was... But anyway, this speech has gone on for long enough. That is more than enough of a trip down memory lane. I now want to look forward and take a moment to thank Mr. and Mrs. Bedborough. Dilly Dilly! I love you both so much. I honestly do not know what I would... Oh, fucking it. Okay. I do not know what I would do without you both in my life. I'm so incredibly proud of both of you, and I'm so incredibly proud of the life that you built together. Thank you from everyone for giving us such a special day. I cannot wait for the future memories to begin. I want to wish you the best time on your honeymoon in Wales. You're going to have... Not going to Wales? Well, Joe told me he was going to bang her for 2 weeks. I'm just kidding. I'm actually on the same flight with them to Singapore. I'm slightly concerned about travelling with them for the first day on the honeymoon, especially given it's a Sunday, and I know their household tradition on a Sunday. And if any of you guys don't know that tradition, go and ask them later on. So will you all please be upstanding for a final time? A toast to Mr. and Mrs. Bedborough. Dilly Dilly. Thank you.